bodies with a big old butts. That's two. 4G auto sets on a truck. 1 to the kidney, 2 to the dome. That's left, right, left, right, left, right, go. Got a rollie for the brunch and a panic for the show. That's left, right, left, right, left, right, go. Got a big new body and a whip it like a pro. That's left, right, left, right, left, right, go. Got a great main chick and a real bad hoe. That's left, right, left, right, left, right, go.
I said, I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Here we go. Count 1. Guilty. Count 2. Guilty. Count 3. Guilty. Count 4. Guilty.
Looks like I'm best and you're the worst. You shall acquire higher physical fun. It looks like I'm best and you're the worst. You shall acquire higher physical fun. A shadow walked behind me, offering his hand, but couldn't understand. He said, how does your garden grow? Come with me, and you'll be the silver flame in the row. My answer was laughter, soft as a low on my head. You're too late, I'm afraid, this flower's already dead.
You tricked me into loving you. Do you think I wanted to love you? Knowing where you came from and what your mission was? Don't you suppose that every hour we were together I was thinking he's just pretending? I wasn't. I loved you. And I loved you so much I let you pretend. Because you brought something to my days I couldn't stand the thought of losing.
इसका एज
How do I look, Maymay?
So beautiful, Mama. How do
Let's talk about Daisuke Lishi. Her backstory was released on the official Yandere Simulator website, so let's talk about it. Daisuke Lishi was born in 1950 to a pair of extremely wealthy parents. Daisuke's mother worked a highly demanding job that required her to frequently travel overseas for long periods of time, which caused her to be absent for most of Daisuke's childhood. Daisuke's mother tried to compensate for her lengthy absences by spoiling her daughter as much as possible whenever she had the opportunity. She showered Daisuke with gifts and praise as often as possible, and never said no to anything that her daughter requested. As a result, Daisuke developed into a very spoiled young woman who was accustomed to having everything she wanted handed to her on a silver platter without ever working for it. Like all other members of her bloodline, Daisuke is afflicted with the Aishi condition. In 1977, while attending high school, Daisuke came into physical contact with a young man whose presence could mysteriously alleviate the symptoms of her condition. Dubbing this young man her senpai, Daisuke was determined to turn him into her lifelong companion. However, there were other girls vying for his attention, and Daisuke had no experience with romance. It appeared as though wooing this young man would require hard work, which Daisuke was firmly opposed to. As usual, Daisuke went crying to her mother and begged her for a solution. By this point in time, Daisuke's mother had retired from her highly demanding job, and could afford to spend all of her time and vast fortune doting on her daughter. She decided that the most efficient way to fulfill Daisuke's needs was to kidnap her senpai, break his spirit, and turn him into a sort of pet. After considering all of her options, she reached the conclusion that the only way to accomplish her goal in complete secrecy would require an addition to her house, a basement. In Japan, homes typically do not have basements due to earthquake concerns, flooding risks, and cultural preferences. Daisuke did not wish for local authorities to be aware that she was adding a basement to her home, since it would only be used for illegal purposes and could be a liability for her in the event of a police investigation, and so it was constructed in complete secrecy with the assistance of foreigners who were paid handsomely to stay silent about what they were building. Despite the numerous difficulties in accomplishing this task, the basement was constructed within a year's time. Immediately after its completion, Daisuke's senpai was kidnapped and imprisoned there. With her mind-broken husband at her side, Daisuke's easy life continued as before. She lived as selfishly as possible, relied on her doting mother for all of her needs, and never worked a day in her life. In 1971, she gave birth to her first daughter, Ryoba. Daisuke had absolutely no interest in child-rearing, and let her mother and husband raise the child, while doing only the bare minimum amount of work that was required of her. In 1976, she gave birth for the second and last time. Ryoba, who resented her mother for being lazy and selfish, and did not want to see her grandmother's workload increase, took it upon herself to care for her younger sister. For many years, Daisuke, her mother, her father, her husband, and her two daughters all lived under the same roof. However, once Ryoba found her own senpai and eventually brought him into their home, Daisuke decided that the house had become too crowded, and that it was time for a change. She, along with her parents, husband, and daughter, moved out of Baraza town, leaving Ryoba and her senpai alone together in their old house. Now residing in Tokyo, Daisuke continues to live comfortably and selfishly, with her elderly mother still taking care of all her needs. And that's it. Bye.
Hey, you! Yes, you! Haven't subscribed to me yet, are you? Well, you better subscribe. Want to know why? Because I'm cool. Did you know yet that we have this? Well, now that you knows, come not support me using these to feature. But of course, only if you want to. If you cannot, or don't want to, subscribing to me is also okay and appreciated moi. This is the things you can get by joining the membership. I'm not forcing anyone, and I hope you guys can considering about joining or not. Thank you for all the supports. Love you guys, Chocoloves.